last time you were in this room, there was a word you used. It was frustration. What's the word tonight?
Sadly, I've used that a few times since then as well. No, like there's definitely a. Geez, I don't even have the word. Like, you know, this is what we need to do. Is like we've been talking about possession by possession, winning habits. We knew they were going to keep coming at us, keep finding a way to challenge us. And I thought every time that happened, like we just stayed the course. And you know, we're talking about every game right now is playoff type vibes, and the arena was like that tonight. And so for us to go through this, it's an important piece for us to deal with and be able to move forward from here.
They jumped you early. It was 20-10. You called a timeout. After that timeout, you went on, I think it was about a 22-6 run to kind of take control of the game. You were never headed from that point on. What was said in that timeout? What adjustments did you make to sort of...
Yeah, like, honestly, it was about just refocusing everything we'd spoken about and worked on this week. And, you know, I thought there was a little bit of air of, like, turning down some looks and probably playing a little too safe at the offensive end, and then defensively just not getting done what we had talked about. You know, and then, yeah, there was a significant change. I thought Rocco came in and really impacted the game at that point with his rim protection. You know, obviously Tyrell gets those 2 fouls. I thought Bainesy's minutes in that period as well were great. And then, you know, Case comes in, has an instant impact. And so I felt it was that kind of night that it didn't matter where we went, someone came in and gave us something. And, you know, I think that's what we saw post that point.
Casey, your first action in quite some time. How did you feel? How were the legs?
Oh, man. Well, first and foremost, I'm just thankful to God for having this opportunity to come back out here and play, especially after, you know, the situation that I had a couple of years ago. You know, being out there with the guys, it was just unbelievable, man. It's the best feeling I could have, you know, hoped for. Then making some shots obviously helped a lot, too, and getting this win in Sydney just was a big cherry on top.
How important, I mean, obviously he's not quite in his game shape as we're used to seeing, but how exciting is that for you, you know, getting, you know, this guy's an MVP caliber talent as we know, getting him into this group and integrated into this group down the stretch of this regular season?
Yeah, I think from the second Case turned up, he's been impacting winning just with how he sees things, what his habits are, like all the stuff that we're trying to really become as a club. Case possesses those, and that's, you know, the whole year when we've been talking, it's been about like, all right, well, if an opportunity comes, like you're going to be able to come in and impact that. And he did that right off the bat. And then to come in today, he turns down a dunk, and then, you know, like could have been 10 points in 10 minutes. And, you know, that's probably the impact that we have been missing at times, where it's just that kind of instant offense. And, you know, he's been great in practice this week. And, you know, it's going to still be a slow build. Like we don't want to, you know, we understand it's 2 years. And I think that's good for Case as well, that he knows that he's in a place that's going to do right by him, but also he's going to do right by us. And that's what's most exciting, is we know once he gets back to full strength that, you know, we've got someone that knows what this league's about, knows what winning looks like, and that's what we want.
And I know we talked about this the last time you were here, but the impact that Isaac, Sam and Mitch have made, and particularly tonight, it was really borne out. You know, Isaac hit a couple of huge threes for you. Mitch was just, you know, doing his usual, and Sam's defense, particularly, you know, in that run of yours. I mean, it's just sort of talk about, you know, their impact, those three guys that you brought in this year specifically. Yeah,
for sure. Like Isaac's been training really well, and, you know, I actually hit him last night and said, like, the way you've been going, you're going to have an impact. And, you know, with Chris Smith out, just gave him more opportunity in that moment. He still takes some where I'm like holding my breath on it, but that's who he is. You know, he's a high impact player, and, you know, he was outstanding from start to end. You know, Sam McDaniel, every week we ask him to defend, you know, a key guy down the other end, and, you know, he kept putting contests on Jalen in the mid-range, which is where we wanted him. And, you know, we knew he was a talent, and we just kept thinking it's a 2 versus a 3, and that frustrates Sammy sometimes, but he was doing his job. And then, you know, Nordo's just been everything we've needed from an impact at that end as well. So, you know, I thought he turned down some shots that, you know, he's been really working on that 3, and that's been a big asset for him as well. So, no, as I said, impact off the bench, 40 points there. You know, the only thing straight away from a review point where there's a frustration is, you know, second chance points to them. Everything else, you know, we defended the 3 the way we wanted to. We put them to where we wanted. We knew we could get the scoring options that we could. So, from a game plan point, pretty happy on that front.
Defensively, you mentioned the ovals, but the number that stands out is 20 three-point attempts, which is way down from what this Kings team is used to. Is that the plan going in, and how happy are you that you were able to keep him to that?
Yeah, like when we were here last time, we just looked back and, you know, we gave him 6 threes on overhelp. And, you know, we really emphasise that if it's a mid-range contest, we'll live. Like, we don't mind that because we had enough confidence down the other end to score. So, you know, for us, that was definitely the plan, limit those as best as possible. I think they only made one patch where it was back-to-back threes as well, which was another part that this building gets pretty loud if we let them get on a roll, which happened last time with a 16-0 finish. So there are a lot of lessons out of that one, and that's the pleasing thing for me right now is, you know, lessons learned. We've played that thing from start to end.
You guys shot the ball well from three, which is not something you've done all season long. Is there anything different that you saw out there that led to better looks, or what do you think?
No, that's insane for me. Like, you know, we're doing the work, and I keep talking about, you know, the habits that are in place with these guys is outstanding. And, you know, you look, Isaac White's a great example. Like, his percentage on the year, like, the kid doesn't miss at practice. So, you know, we've got confidence in the shots that we take. We know guys are doing the work, and we keep saying, like, we keep pounding the rock and keep staying with our habits, like, things will go our way. And I just thought there was that confidence tonight that, you know, if the ball went in and came out, that it was a green light to go take it. And guys just kept finding guys in good spots.
Okay, so what was your first impression of the group when you first came in here? It's a team that wants to be in the playoff mix, but wasn't there when you got here. What's the general feel of the group when you first got here?
I mean, the vibes were there. You know, the offensive skill set was there. Defensive skill set was obviously there. They were just missing just a little bit of just that fire, just that consistency throughout the whole game, and you know, just being able to work with the guys in practice and seeing how they've have just taken on the challenge of just possession by possession, game by game, minute by minute. It was very encouraging for me when I first got here. So I thought right away when I got here it was a championship caliber team, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Is it a challenge for you going from where you were MVP caliber player to now playing sort of like 2-minute stints and trying to make your impact in those little periods of time?
Man, I'm just happy to be on the court. No, you know, I don't really get caught up into, you know, the MVP, the awards, any things like that. You know, I'm just grateful to be in a situation where I can help this team build, help this team grow, and, you know, long term, we'll get back there.
I wanted to ask you quickly about Nathan Sobey, and obviously big night tonight, put a lot of heat on the rim. But the play he made down the stretch to get that ball on that penetration, finding Josh Bannon for that, what essentially was the game sealer. You just talk about his performance, but particularly that play.
You know, I think he's having an outstanding month and really starting to understand what winning looks like for him individually and then for us collectively. And, you know, we're asking a lot of him. And tonight it was great that we had a lot more support for him, and that's what we expect. But, you know, he's getting better and better at making the right play almost every time. And the thing I love about him is his defensive impact. You know, I know Galloway went at him straight away. The next possession, he makes sure he adjusts that. And, you know, his leadership with this group, I've said it a couple of times, when he goes about it that way, it's easy for everyone else to follow. And, you know, he wants that challenge. He wants to be a winner, and, you know, that's what I'm enjoying seeing is his growth in that area, and he's really impacting at the highest level.
Yeah, Tasmania next. Are you relishing the whole, basically every game is a playoff game from this point on, and you get to zone in on that sort of matchup?
It helps sell what I've been trying to sell all year, that every possession matters. So, like, it really does right now. And, yeah, like, that's what the pressures that we need as a club. You know, the level of expectation has to be there that we can get there, but you've got to go through those steps to understand what it looks like. And, yeah, like, looking forward to, you know, Tassie are a great team, really well coached, class act across the board. So to come into our building and have that challenge that we've got to go against a team that we may see in the playoffs is great at this point in the season.
Chris Pike, you're up.
Yeah, I just have one for you, Casey. I mean, we know how good you can be. We know what you can do on the court. But even for you, when you haven't played for 2.5 years, how good does it feel to actually get back out on the court and see a shot or two fall?
Yeah, it feels amazing. You know, the good thing about, you know, being out for a while was I was able to get in the gym and, you know, perfect my craft a little bit more. So just seeing the hard work translate over into the game is always amazing, especially being my first game away in Sydney. You know, I wish we was at home so I could, you know, see the fans and get that kind of energy. But, you know, it was amazing. It was a great feeling.
Max, you're up.
Casey, what's next for you now? How did you pull up after this game? And you've obviously, every season you've played in, bar that COVID-ended season, you won a championship.
I pulled up pretty well. You know, I think what's next for me is just, you know, analyzing where I can get better, where I can help the team in those smaller areas or wherever the case may be, and just keep building from here. Obviously, my goal is to get back to that level and win us a championship here with the guys, and I'm not stopping until I do that.
Justin, just one for you. You guys were down 10-20, and then you end up leading by 13 points at half time. What does that say about the group and, you know, the potential of this group?
Yeah, we've felt all year that we're good enough to go and have an impact in the league. You know, we sit second in defensive rating right now, which is something we want to hang our hat on. And you know, historically, if you're around that, you're always a chance. And so that's where we start always. You know, and that timeout was about that. Like, can we be better at the things that we know we can do? And then just having that consistency. And you know, we've said it a couple of times, like that possession by possession mentality. You know, we knew where our advantages were on the floor. Could we get there consistently enough? And you know, really proud of the boys to be able to just stay the course. You know, a few times there thought about, you know, using a timeout, but then we were able to find our own way on the floor, and that's huge growth for us. And it, you know, it's an exciting feeling as we move forward.
Anyone else on the Zoom? Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.